Everything is getting more expensive. Rent, gas, groceries, and the last thing you need is credit card debt piling up. But there's a better way to build credit without interest or expensive fees. With Chime's Credit Builder Visa credit card, you use money you set aside to build credit. No credit check, no minimum deposit, and no annual fees. Just make everyday purchases and pay on time. Start building smarter credit today at chime.com/Dan. That's chime.com/DAN. Good credit opens doors, better loan rates, easier apartment approvals, and financial peace of mind. Plus, with Chime, you can get paid up to 2 days early and even access fee-free overdraft up to $200 with SpotMe. Turn your everyday purchases and on-time payments into steps toward your financial goals with Chime's Secured Credit Builder Visa credit card. Get started today at chime.com/Dan. That's chime.com/DAN. Chime feels like progress. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by the Bancorp Bank, N.A. or Stride Bank, N.A. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Chime checking account is required to apply. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal and OTC advance fees may apply. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Late payment may negatively impact your credit score. Results may vary. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details.
Now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. In 1795, Cuervo invented tequila.
Cuervo.
What are you doing here?
Cuervo. Anytime someone says Cuervo, I show up.
Well, I do know that to be true, but even during ad reads, like...
Cuervo.
I think you could lay out, especially for one of our great partners.
Sweet, delicious Cuervo.
Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land, the same passion.
Cuervo.
So, enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo.
Cuervo.
The tequila that invented tequila. Proximo. Cuervo.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cuervo.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings,
Why are you listening to this show?
the podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. I want to do a quick callback to yesterday's show. Roy did a great job, dressed as a hockey player, the whole show, fully in uniform, pads and everything, skates.
Looked great.
The socks, the tape, like fully in uniform the entire show. And then afterwards, he's like, oh, I got to go pick up my daughter. I got to go into the hockey rink. We're going to do a little, like, he's trying to play hockey, right? So you wanted to.
I'm so nervous for you.
So he's like, I'm going to kill two birds here. Like, I'm going to go play hockey right now.
Hold on, wait a second. Wait. So there was a hockey pickup game?
No, it wasn't a pickup game. No, what it's called stick and puck, where you can go out there and you can practice and do
Like
some
open
skills.
play kind
Not
of.
to be confused with stick and pick.
Right.
Exactly.
And so,
Pick and pop.
I got a tweet yesterday.
Pick and puck?
Just like a random tweet from a guy being like, hey, just saw Roy Bellamy walking into the practice facility in the full uniform.
Oh, did you?
Which implies that Roy, and he said he had to pick up his daughter. Roy went, picked up his daughter, and then in full uniform.
No, you
I mean,
didn't,
clearly
Roy.
couldn't have been driving with the skates on.
No.
So maybe the skates came off, but other than that, did you have the helmet on for the entire drive?
No, it was in my hockey bag. The helmet. No, what happened was apparently a little bit after the show, Anita told me that I had to pick up Claire. I was going to go straight from here to the War Memorial.
Wait, so the visual, is this car line pickup?
No.
You had to get out?
Yes.
I had to get out. I had to walk to the front.
No, Roy, that's not true. Stop.
That is very much true.
Did you put the mask back on so
No.
people wouldn't actually see your face?
No.
Did you put
what-
sneakers on?
What kind of response did you get?
Yeah, I got my Jordans on right now. I wore my Jordans.
So you had
today,
did you feel the need to explain it?
No.
You're just
No.
Did anybody ask you any questions, or was it just understood
Oh,
this
you know what?
man is a
Actually,
hockey
one
player?
person, my friend Alina, who goes to my church, she asked me, did you go to work today?
No.
She thinks that that's what you do?
She's like, I knew you worked in sports, but I didn't know it was this literal.
Yeah, I said, yeah.
What it is she's like, Roy works at a crazy person's place where they make him dress up and do wild stuff. So he could have been dressed as anything. He could have been dressed as a dragon.
What happened was they brought in this 7-foot English guy, and he told me I had to wear this costume, and here I am.
6'8", don't give him that money.
By the way, the ad that Dan did for the watch along
With Foot.
Yeah, Foot. That's what I want to get to. The cat's name is Foot.
That's right.
Look, even I think that's lame as
Come on, man.
Wow.
And now, Chris, imagine you could talk to animals. What do you think Foot's saying right there in that video?
I think Foot's saying, Dan, it's not 420 quite yet.
He's like,
Why
Dan,
was he wearing sunglasses?
It's like, Dockich is so right. You are fat.
Foot's like, I don't want to have anything to do with this, right? And that's, dude, if you could talk to animals, I'm telling you, most of the time, you're going to get this, right? You're going to get like an animal saying, leave me alone.
Yeah, especially cats.
Look at that cat. That cat's saying, leave me alone.
What a terrible choice, wanting to talk to animals.
No, you guys are off on this.
You're still going to do this?
No. Based off of the social media, you guys are outnumbered, by the way.
Okay, because we're the only ones that are smart.
I'm just
Everybody
saying,
else is dumb.
I was scrolling through comments, way more people writing animals in the comments
But
than
here's the
writing
thing.
humans.
I'm pretty sure, like, take me back in time, like, have me talk to, or go to the future after I've already talked to animals. I'm pretty sure I can tell you before I learn to talk to them what they're already saying,
There
man.
you go.
You've already picked it.
You wasted it. You wasted your genie wish. Learning, first of all, this is the thing that someone brought up yesterday. I wish I had remembered it during the show. Talking to animals are dumb. Like most animals, some of them are smart. But
We assume that.
No.
I think we
know
know
this.
that.
We know
I
that.
think there's some depth there.
Science
Dogs eat their own shit.
Yeah, like they're dumb.
Oh, they
are smart,
smell
dude.
it.
No, they roll in it. It's different.
I remember reading this thing where the guy was talking about if you could talk to like a lion, you wouldn't even understand. Even if you guys understood the language, you still wouldn't understand because the lion is like
Food, me, death.
just like it would be random things. It would just be random stuff, and you're like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
And like, be honest with yourself. And maybe this room is not the people to do this with.
What does that
Be
mean?
honest with yourself. If you are like, when are you more curious? When you're sitting there thinking, "Man, I wonder what my dog thinks when I leave the house," or "I wonder what this nail tech is saying about me," right? Before she starts cracking up. Like, I want to know what she's saying.
Yeah, I want to
Nail
laugh.
tech, huh?
Like
That's why I said this room is probably not the best room.
Oh, I
to
thought
bring
you
that.
know.
No, I knew exactly
Although
what the reference
Roy's
was.
hands always look manicured.
No, not today. I need to snip them. Yeah, these need to
You
be
do that
cut.
yourself, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
Roy
where
does
else am I
everything
going to go? I'm not
himself.
going to go to a salon.
Could.
Why
Roy
not?
does his
I
own
get a
barbershop.
pedicure.
Wait.
I get a pedicure.
Why not, Roy?
I don't know. It's just not in me.
I don't do manicures,
you
as
sounded
you can
offended.
tell. I do every once in a while. I'll go get a pedicure. It's nice.
What, you like a foot rub?
Just
You like
relaxing.
a little foot rub?
I don't like people messing around down there.
Really?
Hey now,
Not on my feet. There's just a lot of
what kind of
like.
place you going to?
It's just I once kicked my aunt in the nose because she accidentally like messed with my foot and I didn't know what was happening.
What?
And I whack and got her right in the nose, and it's just like I don't know what's gonna happen when
Nah, I
you mess
love it.
around
Get
down
in
there.
there.
Like it's a
there.
challenge.
Oh man! They
no.
just.
Oh man,
But that's kind of close to what
Guys,
it's going to look like in like 30 years,
that's
right?
why I'm going to get a pedicure.
That
'cause
really?
I'm just like I've
You
seen
wanna
my
avoid
dad's
that?
feet, and I'm like, we gotta.
Dude,
Why are we doing this? Get this off the screen.
Get it off the screen. But I do want to say this: the generation before us, like my dad, your dad, what did they do? Were they just
Nothing.
walking barefoot, kicking boulders?
But wait, that's not as bad as LeBron James's foot.
Oh man,
Let's
LeBron.
not do
No,
that.
no,
We
do
don't
not
have
put that on the
to put it up.
screen.
We don't
Do
have
not.
to put it up, but when you compare, it's like, hey, Greg Cody, not that bad.
How is LeBron not in pain with that?
Right?
I've seen that. Like that is.
First of all, his foot's like a loaf of bread.
The big toes like swept underneath his foot.
Like it's dislocated.
His foot is like a loaf of bread, and then the toes aren't. They're just like hovering.
This is actually a good version of
Yeah.
it. I've seen a way worse version of it.
Yes, recently from
Yes,
the Laker
the
locker room.
recent one,
This is
yes.
this is back
Get
when he was
it off the
still in
goddamn
Miami.
This is
screen.
as clean of one as we're gonna see though.
It doesn't look like a pinky toe as much as it looks like a wart.
His big toe nail is Greg Cody status almost at this point. It's like totally. It looks way worse than that.
I'm about to throw up.
All right, guys. Yeah, we got it.
Just you're right. Like, how is he not in pain all the time?
Greatest athletes we've ever seen.
It's great, exactly. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, what if that's the secret? What if the secret to what if my dad was a great athlete? Like he talks about it, and I never believe him. He's like, yeah, I ran track in college, and da-da-da. I'm like, okay, right? Because I played soccer with him, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. But I also played with him when he was an old man. So maybe when he was young, he was like an incredible athlete, and the secret was his feet were awful. I have amazing feet. I've been complimenting my feet many a time, right?
Don't
No,
don't
I'm
show
not
him.
going to do that.
Thank you.
Dan's not here. We're not going to.
Wait, so this is like a boomerang thing where you're like somebody will pull up the covers and see your feet and be like, this one's a keeper.
I mean, yeah, kind of, man. Like
You've been complimented multiple times.
multiple times, and not in any situation where I thought a compliment was forthcoming. Like I'm just hanging out and like, yo, my feet and my hands. Apparently, I have a really good hands. I'll show you guys my hands.
They generally run hand in hand. No pun intended.
There you go.
Like
or hand and foot.
If it's rare that you have like your feet are just gross and you have these beautiful hands. Generally, I think they're on the same page.
Well, what do LeBron's hands look like?
Let's see these
not
bad
like
boys.
that.
Like, let's look up LeBron's hands. But
Is this like this? Are we any other professions where your tool
Plumber.
that you use gets like a singer is like the inside of their throat? Like what?
No, keep going.
I'm just saying, like, what other professions, like a cook, like you get these calluses on your hand, like
Yeah, that happens
What
to
other
singers.
professions?
It happens to
do you
singers.
see
They have
this, like,
nodes.
with LeBron's feet.
Adele. This happened to Adele, right? Where if you're singing improperly or you don't have like you have this type of wear and tear on your voice where you can develop nodes on your vocal cords,
Yeah.
and so in turn you can't sing. You need to go on vocal rest.
But you
And
can't
so
see that though. That's inside.
You can't
Yeah.
see it, which is fair. It's not like you're all of a sudden you get like swollen in your
She's
neck
not-
or anything like
she
that.
doesn't have like a Last of Us kind of like growth.
It is
on her
different,
neck.
but it is through using your instrument. It can be wear and tear.
So this is LeBron's hands. Not bad.
Nice, actually.
Nice hands.
Was he boxing there? What was that?
This is
when
when he,
for a boxing.
This was after. Was this when he broke his hand, but he didn't let us know until after the finals?
Yeah.
This is the J.R. Smith finals, right?
Those hands are fine, although the pinky, you can see the resemblance to the pinky toe. You see a little
yeah.
bit?
Can we
right?
zoom in? Get zoom in on that pinky, please.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
definitely from the same body.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's got a little extra arch to it for
Yeah,
some
what's
reason.
happening there?
Yeah.
It's a little Hunchback of Notre Dame going on there.
That's why he's not like a 45% three-point
There
shooter.
you go. That's what I always say. My pinky finger, if it wasn't.
What's happening right
mangled.
now?
Yeah, this is cool. This is I like this arts and crafts part especially for the listeners, the ones who can't see what we're doing. What we're having is a copy and paste and then zooming, and now it's almost psychedelic. The way I'm looking at all these LeBron fingers coming at me, bro.
Well, luckily, soon we will have someone who's an expert on psychedelics.
Really?
Jake Plummer. I also have a list here of
Thought it was Aaron Rodgers.
other names that connote professions.
Oh,
Jake
We're
Plummer.
saving that for Jake,
like
We
right?
can save it for him if you'd like.
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, Jake the Snake.
Wow, he's a plumber, right? It's Jake Plummer, but his
snakes.
nickname is also a tool that you
Yes.
use as a plumber.
Yeah.
That's why. That's why they call him the
crazy.
Snake.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like Jake the Snake is such a lazy.
Not because it rhymes with Jake?
No.
It's such a lazy nickname.
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake.
Come
it's just
on,
like, all
man.
right, we got the name Jake. All right, what can we rhyme it with? All right, anyone got any
Cake.
ideas? Jake Snake rhymes with Jake. All right, that's it. Good meeting, everyone. Let's go. Let's go to
Bake.
lunch.
Jake the Bake. I mean, for 420, baby.
Jake and Bake.
Jake and Bake. Oh, Jake and
See,
Bake.
now we're cooking. That's a better nickname.
We
than
are
Jake the
cooking.
Snake.
Jake and
With
Bake.
gas.
A fire. No, so you guys don't like Jake the Snake as a nickname?
I just think it's
Lazy.
yes. It's just like
Lazy.
It's just stolen from a wrestler, right?
right, but
the
I'm
first.
like whoever thought of it first. You thought you were doing something,
Well, it's Jake.
and you weren't.
Jake thought of it first.
It was
Yeah.
probably Jake.
Or
It was
Jake's-
probably the wrestler.
Jake's-
Someone next to Jake.
Yeah, exactly. Jake. Well, I mean, we might have a Kobe Bryant situation where Jake gave himself the nickname.
Yeah.
We
Or
should
the
ask him
wrestler
that.
stole it from perhaps a porn actor. Like Jake the Snake. You don't think that's a good porn name?
That would be a good porn name.
I don't. What's the? What,
It's the reference. Like,
yeah.
The snake being a wiener.
Oh, I got it. It's a cock joke. Got it. Jake the Snake. Oh yeah. It's like, and then who would Jake the Snake be starring with? Who's a co-star in this vehicle?
Oh, I don't know. An elephant plumber. Ah, yes.
Fat Matt.
Fat Matt.
Fat Pat.
Fat Pat.
Fat Maroon.
How about Ivana Humpalot? Right? Was that from Austin Powers? Right? Ivana Humpalot and Jake the Snake.
Oh yeah, that was such.
I love when
time.
Austin Powers uses names like
Dude, that movie's 30 years old now, almost.
still slaps.
Crazy. Because I think about it, like I was like, that movie just came out, man. Austin
So many,
Powers.
so
You know
many
what?
random lines from
You know
my
what
life.
just came out that it's great. And it came in as 100%, I think, audience score, Rotten Tomatoes, which never happened. It's the Seth Rogen show on Apple TV. It's
Bro,
studio, right?
So watch this. The critic score is like if it's not 100, it's like 98.
Yeah.
The audience score is like 60%.
Huh.
People don't like it, and you know why? I realize what it is.
Can I tell you why I have a hard time with it?
Oh, please.
It's not. It's just when I watch it. Like, you can't watch that show, spoiler alert, I guess, if you're trying to wind down. Because it's very, like, it's that show that puts you in the center of awkward situations, and you feel like you're in the middle of it because of the way it's shot. And here's the kicker. There's, like, jazz music happening the whole time. And it's like jazz music, so it's very random. So whatever is happening, that's what it adjusts to. And I'm just like, man, this gets my heart going. Like, I feel awkward. I need to turn this off. I need to go like an hour before I can go to sleep after watching that. But it's still very good.
So I'm sure the awkwardness and the cringiness of some of the situations it turns some people off. More than that, though, because this show reminds me. You guys ever watch this movie called Bowfinger? Came out 1999.
I love that
Eddie
movie.
Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, Steve Martin.
Steve Martin wanting to make a movie without a budget.
Right. And Bowfinger was like, this is what Hollywood is like for real. These are how these, obviously, not to that extent where they got no budget and they're trying to shoot around stuff, but like all of the kind of obstacles that they meet in trying to get a motion picture made. That's what it's like. And so for most people, they don't like the behind the scenes of how stuff really is. Right. They want their own idealized version of what life is really like over there in Hollywood. This show is, obviously, they have fun. It's a parody of stuff, but a lot of it is like, yeah, that's really what happens. It's arguments over which director we're going to use. Well, I made this promise. Well, da-da-da. And like they're trying to figure all that stuff out. And I think people don't like that.
Yeah, I can see that. I also see that, like, a little bit to more of my point of just like they want to relax when they watch something, right? And this is one of those, like, they had a scene that I will remember forever, and it's probably, my guess is probably their best scene, is when he is backstage in a movie with this woman director, and they're trying to get a scene right before the sun goes down.
Because of the light, the sun is setting, and so it's one shot to do this.
And for reasons that they're not entirely Seth Rogen's fault, and somewhere it is his fault. He just keeps screwing up the scene, and it's just so awkward and cringeworthy, and it's just like I had to stand up. Like I stood up from my couch. I was like, "What's gonna happen now?"
Dude, that episode.
Will they get the shot?
I hope they win an Emmy for that episode because, by the way, that whole episode was shot as a one.
Get out of here.
Yep, one take, the whole episode. It's one continuous shot. They never break.
One take episode about a one take.
Yes.
That's just people flexing, right? Like that's adolescence and this. It's just like, hey, watch how I do this.
But for this one, this is especially because the episode was about them doing everything in one take. That's why it's not just the sun is setting. It's they wanted to get it one continuous shot, moving from outside to the pool to inside to back outside to where they're doing.
Oh God! When he walks in front of the actress in the middle of the shot,
and says, "Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you." And she's like, in the middle of the shot.
That's when I stood up.
Yeah.
This seems like a show that I would love to watch. The problem is I'm not looking.
Oh no!
Wow.
Can't look now.
Oh man.
Don't Look Now, presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Guys, I don't know if you're looking. You better not be.
Nope.
But I don't know if you listened, because we're not looking. I don't know if you listened to the Pat McAfee show yesterday where Aaron Rodgers says, well, in this context, maybe you did, because maybe you saw it, maybe you heard it on TV as you were walking by because you weren't looking.
Didn't see it because we're not looking.
Exactly right. Aaron Rodgers says retirement's still a possibility, but he's trying to see other offers and feel out other offers. You guys intrigued by that or no?
Well, he's wearing a mask, right? So you can feel out the offers, but not actually see them, right? The offers are written in Braille.
Well, he's playing Don't Look Now.
Right.
Well, Don't Look Now, but he's not going to retire.
Somewhere Mike just fell over.
It's in Vegas. He just knocked into
what is happening?
A slot machine. No, this is I'll retire if no one offers me a job. That's what he's saying, right?
Exactly.
I mean, not that we can look, but if you weren't to look, it's like, hey, don't look now, Steelers, but I'm still kind of interested. Eventually, you'll figure out once you're in training camp that you have nothing. I can come in here and take the job really easily. But don't look now.
Don't Look Now. Saints legend Ryan Ramczyk retires. Offensive lineman. Puts on his Instagram an incredible journey with the Saints.
Wow.
Wait, how are you reading this?
Wow. I'm not reading it.
Top of the head.
Is it burned into your eyelids?
Even that guy's family's not looking at that.
Aww.
And no one
Ryan
is
Ramczyk, 30 years old, retired a little bit early, but still very good offensive lineman.
Played for not St. Louis, for New Orleans?
For New Orleans.
Should have played for the Rams.
Should have. Ramchek, yeah. No, I like that.
Yeah, we're using
You're not
legend
looking,
a
are you?
little loose, right? Like a Saints legend. Is that like saying Jonathan Zaslow is a South Florida media legend?
I mean, he kind of is.
Who?
Is he? I'm going to leave that
Zaslow,
one on your
yeah.
table.
Well, I mean, look, I guess you have to be a legend to just come on this show and just beg for tickets for 2 days. Like, I didn't think Dan allowed that, but apparently if you're a legend, you allow that.
If you're a pet parent like me, you know about Chewy. When they say they have everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy, they're not messing around. Food, toys, prescriptions, whatever you need, they got it. Plus, they can deliver it right to your door. To keep Dopey happy, Chewy offers over 100,000 products from the brands my pets love, at prices I love too. Food, treats, toys, beds, you name it, they've got it. To keep Izzy healthy, Chewy has got me covered with pet prescriptions, insurance, telehealth, vet visits, and even vet clinics rolling out nationwide. My favorite feature? AutoShip. I never run out of essentials like food or litter, and I can update or cancel anytime, so no guilt trips from Dopey and Izzy. Everything ships right to your door in just 1 to 2 days. Oh, and Chewy isn't just for dogs and cats. They've got birds, fish, reptiles, and more covered too. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order and get free shipping by going to chewy.com/Dan. That's chewy.com/DAN. Save $20 on your first order with free shipping. Chewy.com/Dan. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details.
Howdy, folks. It's Mike Ryan here to remind you that Game Time is the official ticketing partner of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stu Gatz. As you know, I talk about Game Time plenty on the show because I use it plenty. And the weather is warming up. It is a perfect time to take family or friends, a whole lot of folks. Take them to a ball game. But before you do, why don't you check out the Game Time app? Why? Because Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and the lowest price guaranteed. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. What if you're one of those fans that likes to travel the nation and go to all these different ballparks? Sometimes you don't know what you're getting yourself into. You're not familiar. Well, those panoramic seat views on the app, they certainly help, almost as much as that all-in pricing tab, to make sure there are no surprises at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Folks, the time has come to get some new golf clubs, and that means one thing: heading over to my local PXG store for a fitting. They make the best golf clubs. I'm telling you guys, I went there, in and out, efficient, the nicest staff. If you need to improve your golf game, if you want to scratch strokes off your score, go to PXG, get a fitting. Instantly, the irons fit so perfectly. You get fitted. It's quick. As soon as I got home with my clubs, I go to the range. I'm telling you, I gave away my old clubs. PXG is where it's at, guys. If you need to change your golf game, the fastest way to improve your performance on the golf course is PXG Fitting. The PXG fitters are highly trained, incredibly experienced, and have a deep understanding of how to optimize your clubs to get the most out of your swing. Their fittings, they're educational, they're fun. Schedule your fitting today, and for a limited time, you can save up to 20% off your entire order. Head to pxg.com/Dan. That's pxg.com/Dan to save up to 20% on your entire order. pxg.com/Dan. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Dan Le Batard.
Did you ever have a crush on a cartoon character?
Oh, can I go? This isn't my question, but I did. Jessica Rabbit. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes. Yes, I think
She was married to Roger Rabbit, even though he was a bunny and she was a humanoid, but they were both cartoons.
Stugats. I had a crush on Betty Rubble.
Oh, wow.
What? What?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good.
Whoa, with a surprise nomination from Stugans. Showing you his dirty inner 9-year-old.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats.
All right, we got a guest on the line. It is the one and only Jake, the Snake Plumber. Jake, welcome to the show. Jake is here. He's the co-founder of Umbo Mushrooms and an advocate and entrepreneur for functional mushrooms. Jake, before we get started, let me ask you this question. How many times have you been asked for tickets to events that you are not playing in or part of?
It happens probably 2-3 times a year, just depending on
what's going on. Living in Colorado, the Broncos are always an ask. Somebody somehow, some way will say, "Hey, can you get me some tickets to the Broncos? We really want to see Bo Nix." So,
no, they don't.
Yeah, it happens. But if I can pull it off, I do my best. If it's somebody that is close to me, but yeah, the ask for ticket thing is. I shamefully admit I ask for tickets too from people I know that are in the industry of maybe music or sometimes a sport or whatever. But as long as there's fair trade, I feel it's all right.
What's your go-to response when somebody who's not at the level that should be asking you for tickets, but you're just like, okay, definitely not giving this person tickets? What's the go-to response to let them down gently?
I usually say, well, they're probably about anywhere from $200 to $250 each.
Yeah.
And then right away, they're like, okay, I thought you got them for free. You don't get them for free? I said, no, they don't. The Broncos don't just hand out free tickets to anybody that ever played for them.
Thought that was part of the perks.
Jake, what was the last?
You can work it if you need to. If it's important, I can get free tickets, but it's usually for myself or my family or something like that.
What was the last tickets you asked for?
Good question. I think it was to a concert to my boy Drew with Satsang. I think I went to a concert of him. He was coming through Colorado through the Boulder area. So, you call and say, hey, can you leave some tickets? Can I go? Can you give me some tickets to the show? And of course, as a friend of ours, good friend of me and Dell, Jolly, my buddy with Umbo, he's always cool and hooks it up.
Are you, Jake Plummer in Denver? You're not waiting for restaurants, right? We're not doing that game anymore.
Yeah, if I go to a restaurant and there's a long wait, I'm probably going to go to another restaurant.
Right.
The food stuff is kind of a funny thing. Like, you got an hour long wait. What are you serving that's so good? Then you go and you're like, damn, I could make this at home. What am I doing here?
Jake, I think most people know what Sunday is. It's not just Easter, it's 420, but tomorrow is Bicycle Day, which I didn't know about. It's the celebration of the first psychedelic trip on LSD by Dr. Albert Hofmann in 1943, in tandem with his bicycle ride home, which I do not recommend, from Sandow's labs. Which day means more in the Plummer household, 420 or Bicycle Day? Because I remember my first trip.
I'm bypassing both of those and looking forward to Earth Day, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Back in the day, 420 was always a pretty funny thing when weed was illegal. And now, 420 has just become a big, just a bunch of smoke rising from Colorado and surrounding areas that have legalized marijuana. 420 has never really meant a whole lot to me. The 419 is really cool if you think about the history of psychedelics, and just imagine being that, Albert Hofmann on his bike, realizing, oh my God, I'm tripping on LSD riding my bike. For anybody that's ever tripped on LSD, it could be a phenomenal, amazing ride, and it also could be a ride straight from hell, but you just don't know what's going to happen when you're doing the psychedelics.
For me, 420, people who celebrate 420 get too excited about it, amateurs.
Yeah.
If you send me a happy 420 text, it's like...
It's like Cinco de Mayo,
you're a
right?
loser.
Like people get like, oh, we're going to do shots on Cinco de Mayo. I'm like, come on, man. We do shots every day. Good. That's a good point.
I'm doing shots on the 5th of every month.
It's cool how things have progressed, at least there's progression. Yeah. We're talking about it. We're able to it's not something they have to, go and hide from. It's out there. It's definitely, it's changed things, how they've legalized marijuana, and now they're working to decriminalize plants and make them accessible to people that need them.
Jake, I'm curious. We were having a discussion earlier about your nickname, Jake the Snake. How'd you get the nickname? Who gave you that nickname, first of all?
Yeah, well, I mean, my actual legal name is not Jake, so it didn't happen till, when I started playing sports, probably around the 6th, 7th grade. I think it was the 7th grade. I went to a basketball camp in Idaho, up in McCall, Idaho, and the Boise State Bronco basketball players were running that. Chris Childs, who was a Boise State Bronco, was there. Arnell Jones, Doug Usatillo, a bunch of guys we looked up to. And when my brothers had kind of called me the Snake a couple times, just jokingly. They started calling me Jake the Snake. I read Kenny Stabler's biography, The Snake. I played football. I was hard to catch, slithery, kind of quick. So the moniker was right. It was good. Rhymed with Jake, all those good things. So I became Jake the Snake, more well known when I got to ASU, and on the first fan fest day, I just started signing Jake
the Snake Plummer, everything. I wrote it all out. Like, here I am. I'm here. I'm fresh from Boise, Idaho, and I'm Jake the Snake. And then that's when it kind of stuck as far as people outside of my family and, some friends locally calling me the Snake.
Hold on. Your name isn't Jake?
That is unbelievable.
No.
What's your name?
My real name is Jason. So, had that. I got to the 3rd grade, and Mrs. Jenkins at Pierce Park Elementary, there were 4 Jasons in the classroom. And so when she got me to bring me into the class, she said, tell me, do you have any other names you go by? I said, well, I've been called Jake. And she said, all right, come on inside. And so we went in and she said, hey, everybody, I want to introduce you to our new classmate, Jake Plummer. He's here to join us. And from that day, I was Jake.
That's like finding out that Mickey Mouse's name was like Nicholas and it wasn't really Mickey. This is wild.
It's Nicky Mouse.
That's fun. Yeah, so, what if it would have been Jason? I don't know what my nickname would have been. Who knows?
Jason the Snason Plummer?
Jason the Mason?
Jake, settle a debate we were having on the show yesterday. Would you rather, for the rest of time, be able to understand every language in the world or understand animals?
Ooh, man.
Come on, Jake. It's an easy answer.
I already understand animals. I've been in some moments where I can kind of like relate and talk with them. So I would say having the ability to go anywhere in the world and communicate would be it would open up so many like avenues, and just be able to go anywhere in the world, be able to communicate would be phenomenal, I think.
Jake, do you listen to Aaron Rodgers and just sometimes laugh? Because I do.
I don't laugh, but I don't listen to Aaron Rodgers either, so.
I'm sorry. I would laugh with you there, but just at that moment, Chris was talking to me. I have no idea what you just said.
I was just like,
I want to pull back the curtain for everybody, for Jake, for the listeners, for the viewers,
Please.
everybody. Every time someone in the shipping container or in the video room has a pithy remark, it mutes everything that's being said. So as we're trying to do an interview, it is the worst possible thing to do because I don't know what Jake just said.
Be a pro. I mean,
I'm
come on.
We're just trying to get you to ask good questions, all right? We're trying to help you, and you're going to get mad at us?
I was criticizing Izzy for terrible journalism. The guy said he's talked to animals before, and he asked about Aaron Rodgers.
That's ridiculous.
I would like a follow-up question. What animals have you spoken to?
Okay, well, it was at my buddy Dell's, the Jolly Death Ranch, where, you come and partake in some, particular plants, and your ego dies. So we call it the Jolly Death Ranch. But I had a great conversation with Bluto, his black lab.
What a great name.
Yeah, we shared an apple, played tug of war. We had a lot of good times, and then another time his chickens came out, and that was insane. And talking and like hearing him talk and having that little bit of interaction with the animals was phenomenal.
How did you share the apple? Was it like one bite you, one bite the dog, or was it like
it was
Lady in the
more
Tramp
like
situation?
I ate most of it, and then it had just the core, and so I had the core, and I was kind of protecting that, and we were playing, like that's my bone, not yours, and me and Bluto, we're tight, man. She's a great dog.
So tell us, these guys are claiming that if you actually hear what animals are saying, they're not that smart, it's not that interesting, they're just kind of dumb.
I guarantee you the dog was saying, can I have some apple?
What was the dog like? Was it in-depth conversations, or was it kind of dumb conversations?
No, I mean, it's not like here we're talking like we're not saying words between each other. It's not like I'm talking with an actual dog and the dog saying words. It's understanding and like looking and feeling out each other. And it's actually a higher level of communication. There's no words needed. We don't have to do blah, blah, this. We're actually like looking at each other and going, and going over and looking for something in the bushes. It's not a communication thing that we do. Is almost, it's like just a lot of hot air. I don't know if you guys have checked out the telepathy tapes. They're the autistic kids that could communicate without talking.
Yes.
And they're understand. I mean, that's like those. They're not considered. As you look at them, they don't talk. Maybe they're nonverbal, and you're thinking, "Oh, this kid's really, not as smart as other kids." But they're actually smarter than most people because they don't need to do this blah 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 thing. They can just understand. So, animals are diverse. They're amazing. They're super intelligent, and I love animals. So, now that I just said that, I think I'd go with being able to communicate with animals.
There we go.
Wow. Call in a hawk. Yeah, I wouldn't have to fish or do anything. So, and have a hawk come in, get a fish for me, and bring it right over to me. I'm like, cool, perfect.
So Jake, this was my argument against that. Is you're assuming just because you can communicate with them that they're actually going to be vibing with you. They might not like you, right? You might say, "Hey, hawk, get me a fish," and the hawk says, "Get your own."
Now imagine, Jake, imagine you're on some umbo mushrooms and you're just like having a great trip, and in your head, every language available. Like, that would be wild. You talking to yourself in just every language available.
Well, it wouldn't be umbo mushrooms that I'm on, because umbo are non-psychedelic.
True.
They're functional mushrooms. We sell our bars at REI. But the ability they have to make you think clearer, focus, and hear and understand things, non-psychedelic wise, they help. But the psychedelic ones would be the ones that, if I was on those and was able to communicate, with the animals at a deeper level, which there are people out there that have, and even there are people out there that can understand animals, at a deep level.
You know what? He's changing my mind.
Now you're switching. Dude, I'm telling you.
We all understand animals. I mean, if you have a dog, you understand your dog. When you come home, they're so excited to see you, and you feel that love. You feel that excitement. You
Amin's big thing is he wants to walk into a bar and order a drink in any language. Yeah. And that, to me, not as fun as being able to, have a hawk go fishing for me.
That, and also like never being ripped off by a cab driver or by someone selling something in the market.
Happen.
No, because I'm telling you, you walk in as the silly American, and they're like, "Oh, we got one here," and then you flip it on them and you speak in their language with their slang, and that's a big one. When you use their slang, like, "Oh, wait, this dude is super local," and now they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were one of them. Here, take it for free."
Now imagine you can get an army of dogs to attack him just on command.
You're still assuming that the dogs are gonna listen to you. Like the dogs are gonna be like, "Man, get out of here."
They listen to me now.
Do they?
Yeah, but what if I had just the ants? I could just have the ants come out of nowhere. You wouldn't even know they were coming. You'd just be like, "What's going on?" And all of a sudden, the ants take you down.
That is so true. Ants are scary.
But we're all thinking evil on this. We also could have ants carry us around the world. Say, "Hey, carry me over here," and they would pick you up and take you wherever you needed. So it could be. I think it'd be a lot more enjoyable having the ability to speak to animals. You could do some wild stuff. Dive into the ocean and call a dolphin over and have him take you really fast to the island.
Jake, real quick before we let you go, you got your big pickleball bash today, right? Out in Arizona, which I'm flying to Arizona in a couple hours. How do your pickleball skills compare to your quarterbacking skills?
They're pretty similar. I'm not afraid of taking any shot, and I'll play really, really, really well for about half the game. Have a moment where I can't hit the ball over the net, and then I'll get hot at the end if I have to pick it up and pull the victory out or something. But I love the game. It's a lot of fun. This is a great way to raise some funds for the Good Sport Foundation down here in Arizona. Kind of get back in touch with the Valley, doing some stuff here. Obviously, ASU, they've had a little resurgence, so been down here a lot, and it's like my second home. So it's exciting to be down here. And we got some great guys coming out to play. Terrell Owens, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jen Welter. Just played yesterday with Robert Tate, who played in the league for 10 years, DB. So we got a lot of celebs coming out to play and have a good time, raise money for a good cause.
If you're ever down 20-14, you want Jake Plummer on your team. I'm sorry, Jason Plummer on your team.
Jason Plummer.
Jake, as someone who's dabbled in microdosing with mushrooms, at what point is it not microdosing anymore? When you take how many tablets?
Everybody's different when it comes to the microdosing thing. That's the big term now. Everybody's talking microdosing, and that's what we come up with against every day, trying to sell functional mushrooms. I macrodose functional mushrooms. So I take multiple capsules, our Rise capsules. I'll take our tincture, our Charge and Recharge, which is a combination of a few mushrooms. We're doing this and continuing to, I've been on the show a few times talking about it, but it's continuing to talk to people about our deficiencies. I think we're deficient in vitamins and minerals. We're learning about our soil content, that it's really not producing as rich in nutrient dense and vitamin dense vegetables that we're consuming. So this is just a way to introduce a food group into your diet and really in a macro way is what I do. And and when you hear someone say microdosing, it's most of the times about psychedelics or psilocybin mushrooms. But we're dealing with lion's mane, reishi, turkey tail, cordyceps, shiitake, oyster, the mushrooms that are all legal, that are sold at numerous stores throughout. But that's why, with talking with a lot of NFL nutritionists, ASU's nutritionists, these players are asking about it, but they don't know where to go to get it because online is kind of sketchy sometimes.
Absolutely.
So you never know what you're buying when you're getting this great deal on powdered functional mushrooms online. So that's what we kind of aim to do at Umbo, is provide a really high quality, very potent, well extracted product for anybody that's an athlete, which means active mind and body and wants to get out and get after it.
And how much of this did you get into this because of the pain that you had to deal with after a NFL career?
Well, I was dealing with that for sure when I came across Charlotte's Web, which was the hemp oil, and what that did for my body. It definitely piqued my interest on what other organisms are out there that are natural that can help me as I'm 50. And it was cool because yesterday I'm playing pickleball with T.O., he's 51, Robert Tate, he's 52, and we're out there moving, and it's like you can go and remain active post football career. And for me, it was definitely to be healthy and to give myself, the preventative medicine, to think down the road, not just right now, but to think, when I'm 80, what do I want to be like? I don't want to be hobbling around with not much memory and wishing I wasn't here. I want to be active and going. And so these mushrooms are something that I think will help do that. And as we pursue this, we're working with a lot of great guys. You see my Corey the Sandman. Yeah. He's got a fight coming out here soon. So he's one of our good buddies, and he loves the products. And people that don't sleep well, our sleep capsules are amazing. All natural. There's nothing that's going to make you drowsy. There's no weird drugs in it. It's all natural. It's just nature at its finest. And I guess now that I'm saying that, I would love to actually probably talk to the animals, because then they know more about mushrooms than we do.
We'll keep going back and forth on this. Macro dose on some Umbo mushrooms right now. You can go to getumbo.com and use the promo code DAN15 to get 15% off. Jason, Steven, Jacob, the snake, Plummer, thank you for joining us.
Right on, guys. I really appreciate the time. You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up, and anytime you need me, I'm here.
We got you, buddy. Thank you.
Peace.
I saw a meme that said, shout out to the people who tried all the plants and died just to see which ones would be good for us to trip on.
That is, I always think about that. It's like, how much trial and error had to happen before we got to, do this and do this much of this.
I've smoked 10 consecutive plants. This 11th one, though, wow. Amazing.
It's just a little bravery, right? And the cavemen who came up with some of this stuff, right?
Bad dates.
Oh, man. Yes. Indiana Jones. That's you gotta have it's a capuchin, right?
Yeah, a little capuchin monkey.
Maybe that's how you do it. You get the capuchin to smoke it.
I didn't do the professions, names that connote professions. Folks, listen up. They're here and they're hot. Get ready, because Jimmy John's is turning up the heat. After years of perfecting the cold sandwich, toasted sandwiches are finally here. Try one of their 3 all-new toasted creations. The Toasted Chicken Bacon Ranch, all-natural chicken, creamy home-style ranch, applewood smoked bacon, melted provolone, fresh veggies, all on a perfectly toasted French bread. Good God, does that sound delicious. Or the Toasted Roast Beef and Cheddar, premium roast beef, melty cheddar, creamy horseradish sauce, crispy fried onions, fresh veggies, golden toasted French bread. It just keeps getting better. And the Toasted Ultimate Italian, salami, capicola, smoked ham, applewood smoked bacon, melted provolone, shredded Parmesan, fresh veggies toasted to perfection. Or take your favorite Jimmy John classics like the number 9 Italian Nightclub or the number 11 Country Club and get them toasted. Order now at jimmyjohns.com, on the Jimmy John's app, or stop by your local Jimmy John's today.
Game Time is the official ticketing partner of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stu Gatz. I am Mike Ryan, and as you know, on this show, I am often touting Game Time because I believe in this product. And as a play-in tournament begins this week, why don't you head on over to Game Time? As a Miami Heat fan, I've got plenty of great experiences with that play-in tournament. A lot of good runs started in this play-in tournament. Might be a little frustrated that they're always in the play-in tournament, but that's a story for another day. The good news is Game Time makes getting tickets to that play-in tournament faster and easier, even for hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the Game Time app may actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. And don't forget about that all-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total up front, with no surprise fees at checkout. And Game Time's got its unparalleled ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.